We talk about spreadsheet, we use Microsoft Excel, Apple Numbers, Google Sheet, Quick Smart Sheet. We talk about graphics, we use Apple Pie Design, Adobe Photoshop, Corel Draw, Microsoft Paint. In desktop publishing, we use Flip HTML5, Quark Express, Adobe InDesign, Microsoft Publisher. So in social media messaging, we use Facebook. Programming language. A programming language is an artificial language as opposed to the natural languages such as Hindi, English, etc., that is used to generate or to express computer programs. Both system software and application softwares are developed using one or many programming languages. The first generation of computer programming language is machine language. Programs in machine language consist of instructions coded in of zeros and ones. Thus, the alphabets of machine language are 0 and 1. We move on to assembly language. The second generation of computer programming language started using mnemonics like add, subtract to represent machine language instructions and storage locations. Assembly language is also machine dependent. If we talk about third generation language, that is 3GL, are English like languages. They are statements and commands which are similar to the words used in English. 3GLs are easier to learn but less efficient in the use of computer resource as compared to the machine and assembly languages. Typically, a statement in 3GL is translated into many instructions of machine language. C, BASIC, Fortran, COBOL, and Pascal are the popular third generation languages. Fortran, that is formula translation, which was developed way back in 1956 by John Backus. It was developed keeping in mind Fortran is not being used now. COBOL, that is Common Business Oriented Language. COBOL was developed in 1960 under the auspices of US Department of Defense in cooperation with computer manufacturers, users, and universities. It was designed to be a language for writing programs for business programs. Basic, Basic is the all-purpose symbolic instruction code. It was developed in 1964 by John Cabinet and Tom Woods to teach students as Dartmouth College to use computers. It was beginners. C. It was developed at Bell Laboratories in 1972 by Dennis Ritchie. Many of its principles and ideas were taken from the earlier languages, B and B, earlier BPL and CPL. C was developed with the purpose of creating a high-level language that could be used for writing machine independent programs and would still allow the programmers to control the behavior of individual bits of data. Fourth generation language, that is 4GL. Fourth generation languages are less procedural and even more English-like than 3GL language. The emphasis is more on the output format than the procedure applied to achieve the result. That is why fourth generation languages are also called non-procedural languages. 4GL languages are Natural, Power Builder, Visual C++, Visual Basics, and they have features of application generators. We talk about SQL and RPG3, they are query languages or report generators. CITAT and SAS graph are graphical languages. Oracle, HRMS, and Oracle Financials, CRM, PMS, SAP modules are application software packages. Object-oriented languages. Object-oriented programming is a type of programming in which programmers defines the data type and structure of the data. In addition, the operations function that can be applied to the data is also defined. The data and function together are known as objects. The object-oriented programming language are usually referred to by the acronym OOPL, Java, C++, Smalltalk. These are the popular languages. What is the difference between application software and system software? System software gets installed when the operating system is installed on the computer, while application software is installed according to the requirement of the user. System software includes programs such as compilers, interpreters, drivers, assemblers, while application softwares include software to automate business processes like ERP, CRM, SCM, PMS, and other such softwares developed by the organizations for automation. Media players, social media apps, word processors, spreadsheet programs are application softwares. Generally, users do not interact with system software as it works in the background, whereas users interact with application softwares while doing different activities. A computer may not require more than one type of system software, while there may be a number of application softwares programs installed on the computer at the same time. System software can run independently on the application software, while application cannot run without the presence of the system software. Acquiring application software. A company can either develop or purchase software for its use. In some cases, the purchased software can be modified, customized according to the need of the company. Build the software. If the requirements of the company are unique or specific, then the decision to build the software may be taken. If the organization has the required talent and time, it may be built by the company itself. This kind of development is known as in house development. Also, the company may obtain customized softwares from software vendors. Such softwares developed for the particular companies are called contract softwares. By the software, the company has another option of purchasing, leasing, or renting software from software companies who develop programs and sell them to many computer users and organizations. The software developed for the general market is called off the shelf software, customized software. The company can also opt to go for a mix of both buy and build decision. In that case, the company may purchase some of the off-shelf available software and customize to its need by in-house or external personnel. There are software vendors in the market who provide a range of services like installing, modifying software, training end users, etc. They can be contacted to do the customization. Now we move on to Unit 4, that is related to networking technology. First of all, what are the components of our network? A network system consists of hardware components as well as software components. The hardware components are the server or host computer. Host is the computer that has data to be transmitted. The client. This is the computer on the other end of the transmission system as the server. It receives the transmitted data from the server. The network interface card. Earlier, one had to buy a network interface card, that is NIC, separately and install it in the computer. Now they are all inbuilt. The circuit. The circuit is the pathway through which data travels from the host to the client. The circuit may be a copper wire or an optical fiber. Network hubs. A network hub is a node that broadcasts data to every computer or Ethernet based device connected to it. A hub is less sophisticated and cheaper than a switch. A switch is a multicast networking device that connects a bunch of computer or devices in a network. It is mainly used to send a private message and does not waste data. Router. A router is a networking device that operates to connect two or more networks. It is a device that establishes a common link between the network to enable data flow between them. Firewall is a network security system that monitors and controls incoming and outgoing network traffic based on predetermined security rules. A firewall typically establishes a barrier between a trusted network and a trusted network such as internet. Network operating system. On top of the hardware, there is always specific purpose network software which makes the hardware work. The network operating system, that is NOS, is the software that controls the network. NOS has software for the server as well as for the client. They connect the multiple devices and computers on the network and allow them to share resources on the network. Following are few examples of network operating system. Microsoft Windows servers, Unix, Linux, Sonic, Cisco IOS, Artisoft Dynasty. Cisco IOS is the family of network operating systems used on most Cisco systems router and current Cisco network switches. Earlier, switches ran the Catalyst operating system, that is CATOS. Sonic is a Linux based network operating system developed by Microsoft. It is free and open source NOS. Types of network. Local area network, what we call them as LAN. A local area network connects computers that are in the same building. A network spread over few kilometers also come under LAN. A LAN is usually realized using Ethernet technology or token ring technology. Fiber Distributed Data Interface (FDDI) is also becoming popular. The transmission rate varies from 10 million bytes per second to 1 gigabits byte per second. A computer has a network interface card, such as Ethernet card, that connects it to the network circuit. Usually, LAN is under the control of a single organization. The prime objective of LAN is to facilitate information and resource sharing within an organization. Metropolitan Area Network, that is MAN, is a computer network that is larger than single building local area network, but is located in a single geographic area that is smaller than a wide area network, that is WAN. Generally, it is a network system of several LANs interconnected by dedicated backbone connections. It may also refer to public use networking infrastructure in a municipality or region. Statewide area networks, that is SWAN. SWAN is the concept of connecting state-wide offices at the level of state, union, territory headquarters up to the block level via district, subdivisional headquarters in a vertical hierarchical structure. SWAN is converged backbone network for data, voice, and video communication. Wide area network, that is WAN. A wide area network connects computers in different cities or countries. The network to connect computers that are thousands of miles apart is not built by an organization. Instead, the organization uses leased telephone lines. It is obvious that WAN is not owned by a single organization. Internet. Internet or internetwork is the connection of two or more networks so that a computer on one network can communicate with a computer on another network. The internet is a set of thousands of networks linked together around the world. That is why it is known as network of networks. The communication between two computers takes place such that the user does not have to worry about the technology used by the networks. It is easy to find out the location of another system on the network. The internet has no central administration, but there are protocols that are followed by each network of internet. Intranet. An intranet is a network that connects the internal computing resources of an organization. The prime motive of intranet is to facilitate information sharing within the organization with the help of tools such as web browsers. For instance, a manager can check the inventory level sitting in his own room. Email becomes an easy way to communicate without having to worry about the physical presence of the person on his seat. Intranets operate within the company firewalls. All incoming information is also checked by the firewall computer. Employees can venture out into the internet, but unauthorized users cannot come. Advantages of using intranet and internet. Some of the advantages of using internet and intranet are as follows. The intranet is used to send email, which is a cheaper way of contacting an individuals in terms of time. The online financial planning and project master are additional facilities intranet can provide. Collaboration, project work by the team members may also be geographically separate is now a reality. With the help of internet, an organization can create a website where they post information about availability of the products. The customers can log on the site and check the availability without having to contact any individual in the organization. Video conferencing provides real-time interaction amongst people who are geographically apart. Entire world gets connected using the internet. All social media apps, virtual classes and academic sessions, online shopping, e-commerce, and unified communications are possible because of internet. The time to market a product has reduced considerably. The delay in the product development phases has also reduced due to faster paperless communication. The layered architecture. Communication over a network is a complex task. The host that wants to transmit the data must know the address of the client, a route to communicate to the client. Then it must establish a connection and transmit the data. If an error occurs during the transmission, the client must detect it and inform the host so that it can retransmit the data. It will make life simple if the complex type or task is divided into subtasks. There are two popular models, that is OSI and TCP/IP. The International Standard Organizations developed a framework for computer communication with an objective of providing a standard. The model provided by ISO is known as Open System Interconnection Refer Model, popularly as OSI model. Development and master of software has become simple due to the OSI model. The seven layers are briefly described here. Application layer, this is the top layer and provides user with an interface to the network. The primary purpose is to provide a set of utilities for for application program. Presentation layer. This layer formats the data of presentation to the user. This layer, for instance, might compress or uncompress the data. Next one is session layer. This layer is responsible for initiating, maintaining, and terminating the network session on behalf of an application. Transport layer. This layer is responsible for creating data units called packets from the data that has to be transmitted. Each unit is appended with enough information about its source and destination so that it can travel independently on the network without having to worry about other packets. Network layer. This layer accepts messages generated by the transport layer. Its responsibility is to route packets to the destination. Data link layer. This layer is responsible for initiating the physical transmission of the data. This layer also detects and corrects error that might have occurred during transmission. Physical layer. This layer is concerned with transmission of data bits. This layer defines rules for transmission such as voltage. Now we move on to transmission control protocol, Internet Protocol, TCP/IP. This model consists of four layers: application layer, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. The network layer is equivalent to presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, and network layers of OSI model. TCP/IP is a protocol suite which consists of protocols of all four layers. This suite is used for intranets as well as for internet. 70% of the network use TCP/IP. This protocol provides a reliable stream delivery and virtual connection services to the application. The protocol ensures error-free transmission. TCP performs packetizing. Large messages are broken up into smaller units called packets. Each packet contains the source and destination port identifier. A port is a logical entity that identifies an application. The packet also contains its sequence number and error checking information. The source and destination addresses are also included in the packet. The address part needs some explanation. Each computer has some device, such as network card, through which computer is connected to the network. This device has an address. For instance, the Ethernet card addresses are 6 bytes long. The address is a part of the hardware and cannot be changed. This address is unique in the world. The network administrator assigns a 4-bit address to each computer on the network. This address is known as IP address. This address has to be a unique on the network. The way this uniqueness is ensured is quite interesting. A computer on the LAN is assigned an address by the system administrator. These addresses are four numbers separated by dots. Each number is between 1 and 254. The internet address are usually of the form 172.xxx. The system administrator maintains a table of assigned addresses and can easily ensure the uniqueness. A computer on the internet is assigned by an address by the Internet Network Information Center, who again maintains a table and ensures uniqueness. An address can be one of the following type. For type A, the first bit is fixed by the NIC. The first bit of the bit is 0 for all type A addresses. The first bit can have values between 1 and 127. The remaining 24 bits are usually to identify the host of the network. A type A address is no more available. Type B, the first two letters are fixed by NIC. The first two bits of the first byte are 10 for all B addresses. The first bit can have value between 128 and 191, and the remaining 16 bits are used to identify the host of the network. Almost 80% of type B addresses have already been allocated. Now we move on to type C. The first three bits are fixed by NIC. The first three bits of the first byte are 110 for all C addresses. The first byte can have a value between 192 and 233, and the remaining 8 bits are used to identify the host on the network. Almost 30% of the C addresses have already been allocated. Now, there are type D and type D addresses also which are not for the commercial use. The IP address may be static or may be dynamic. A static address is assigned to the computer that are permanent members of the network. A computer that connects to the network through a modem are usually assigned IP address dynamically. You can see how this IP address is made or is represented. Domain name service protocol DNS translates service address to the IP address. There are name servers which maintain a special database of IP addresses and application layer addresses. There are thousands of name servers across the globe. If a computer does not know the IP address of an application layer address, it sends a request to name the server. Here we can see how the host sends to the name server and how they get the reply. That is, we are talking about how IP address is obtained. World Wide Web. The World Wide Web (WWW) made the internet popular among people who were not part of the academic community. The internet became popular primarily because of www applications. The prime objective of www application is to facilitate sharing of text and image files. The www application are implemented using client server architecture. The server runs a software package called web server and client run web browsers. The most popular web browsers are Netscape and Internet Explorer, and popular servers are Apache, Tomcat, Netscape Server, and Microsoft Server. Each address has computer name followed by domain name. Some of the well-known domains are as follows. The domain edu stands for or it is reserved for educational institutes. Com is for commercial organizations. Gov.in is for government departments of India. There are special softwares known as search engines which helps our user in locating a website. Popular search engines are Google, Live.com, Alexa.com, Baidu.com, Yahoo. The search engine maintains a database of all the websites, and this database is updated frequently. The web server and the client both follow Hypertext Transfer Protocol, that is HTTP, to communicate with each other. HTTP is an application level protocol for hypermedia documents. A virtual connection is established between the client and the server. File Transfer Protocol, that is FTP, it enables a host to send and receive files from the network, intranet, as well as internet. In a file transfer, there is a client that requests the transfer, and there is a server which entertains the request. A file transfer can be either closed or anonymous. In a closed file transfer requires a valid login or password, which is given by the system administrator. An anonymous file transfer can be initiated by anyone. For a file transfer under FTP, a virtual connection between the client and the server is established to transmit control information. Another virtual connection is established for data transfer. Email, that is electronic mail, is one of the oldest application of internet. It has become the most common way of communication. Email can be used to send a message to an individual or to a group of people. Cloud architecture. Cloud architecture has emerged as technology components that are combined to build a cloud. All the resources in cloud are pooled through virtualization technology and shared across a network. The components of architecture includes a front-end platform, the client or device used to access the cloud, one or more backend platforms, a cloud-based delivery methodology, a network to connect cloud clients, server, and storages. Cloud computing architecture enables organizations to reduce or eliminate their reliance on on-premises servers, storage, and network infrastructure. Organizations adopting cloud architecture often shift IST resources to the public cloud, eliminating the need for on premises servers and storage. This reduces overhead cost and the need for IT data center, cooling, and power requirements. Instead, the overhead cost is replaced them with a monthly IT expenditure. With mutual agreements, the payment terms may be even quarterly, half yearly, or annually. This shift from capital expenditure to operating expense is a major reason for the popularity of cloud computing today. There are three major models of cloud architecture that are driving organizations to the cloud. Each of these has its own benefit and key features. Software as a service, that is what we call as SaaS. SaaS architecture provides delivery and maintain applications and software over the internet, thus it eliminating the need for deploying the software locally. SaaS applications are typically accessed via web interface, software solution in terms of ERP, SAP, CRM, SCM, PMS, and other related to hospital and patient master, virtual meeting, and conducting training programs online are possible at lower cost. Second one is platform as a this cloud middleware as a service. Organizations can build upon that platform to create the application or service. The cloud service provider delivers the networks, servers, and storage required to host an application, while the end user oversees software development and configuration settings. Third one is infrastructure as a service. This is the simplest form of cloud architecture. In this form, a third party provider eliminates the need of organizations to purchase servers, networks, or storage devices by providing the necessary infrastructure. In turn, the organizations manage their software and applications and only pay for the capacity in terms of servers and storage they need at any given time towards hardware. There are many IT service providers to support cloud architecture and provide the facility to organizations. One such example is Vimeo. VMware, it provides unified approach to build, run, and manage traditional and modern applications on any cloud. As a single platform, VMware functions across all applications and multiple cloud environments, helping organizations to migrate and run applications seamlessly. Now, we move on to Unit 5, which is MIS and control system. An MIS is defined as an integrated system of man and machine for providing the information to support the operations, the master and the decision-making function in the organization. The definition emphasizes an association between MIS and decision making. An application software that processes data which is not used for decision making cannot be called as MIS. For instance, a computer aided design system is not an MIS. An MIS deals with information that is systematically and routinely collected in accordance with a well defined set of rules. The information provided by the MIS assists managers in planning, organizing, staffing, coordinating, directing, and controlling the operations of an organization. The master experts have viewed these steps as master control system. You can see over here what this management control system is: planning, control, operations. They are all interrelated among themselves. In any organization that has planned activities leading to the achievement of the stated goals, there is always a control process in place that measures progress towards the goals and enables the managers to deduct the deviations from the original plan in time. And MIS is concerned with planning and control. And MIS has large amount of data as its integral part that is stored and managed by a database master system. The exponential growth of information all around makes it necessary that information is probably collected, stored, and retrieved in various fields so that it could be usually exploited whether and when needed. MIS is a system that aids master in making the implementation decisions. MIS must have the following features. Number one, it must be capable of handling voluminous data. The data as well as transactions must be validated. It must be able to perform operations on the data irrespective of the complexity of the operations. Often, time multidimensional analysis is required. An MIS should facilitate quick search and retrieval of information. An MIS must support mass storage of data and information. The information must be communicated to the recipient in time. Moreover, the communicated information must be relevant. System view and status of MIS in organizations. Today, we find everyone talking of systems: the transport system, educational system, hardware delivery system, defense system, economic system, master information system. But what exactly do we mean by a system? What is system? We will define what is system. A system is a complex of elements or components directly or indirectly related in a causal network. This brings in the notion of some type of feedback and control to see whether or not the system is a position to achieve the goals, purpose, objectives of the system. Any system must have an objective or a set of objectives on a hierarchical set of objectives. In large context, a system is an assembly of procedures, processes, methods, routines, techniques, etc., united by a small form or some form of regulated interactions to form an organized whole. In fact, no system, unless it be a totally closed system, can exist in isolation. A system is made up of subsystems which may be composed of further subsystems. We could carry on this refinement till we arrive at the so-called black box level, which is some perceptible, manageable level. Just as system is made up of sub or subsystems, it itself is part of super or supra-system. This could be termed as the environment in which the system operates. If we think of an industrial system or a factory system has various subsystems like production subsystem, shipping subsystem, financial subsystem, and so on. Now, a production subsystem could consist of subsystem of production control, material, quality control, etc. The materials subsystem can further broken down into black boxes, say purchasing stores, transportation, etc. In turn, the factory system is a part of larger economic system of the country, which would be so-called superior or supra system. Data could be a set of input into a data processing, which would process, transform, convert the data into output or information. One could think of raw material entering as input into production system, which is converted, transformed, or processed into an output, that is, in form of some final product. This is what our production system is. We can see how interaction of at management level is done. Well, the information has to be sent, received, processed throughout in an organization and at different managerial levels. Information systems are used in all functional areas and operating divisions of business. In financial and accounting, information systems are used to forecast revenue, and business have been used for managing cash and other financial resources and analyzing. Financial health of an organization is also checked using information system. In sales and marketing, information systems are used to develop goods and services, product prices to get the highest total revenue, that is, price analysis. In manufacturing, information systems are used to process customer orders, develop production schedules, control inventory lengths, and monitor product quality. Service industries such as airline industry and railways use information system to serve their customers better. Banks and other investment firms use information system to make good investment and sanction sound loans. Publishing houses, healthcare organizations, and retail companies all make use of information system to serve their customers better and maximize their profits. Framework for understanding MIS and its role at various master levels. There is too much data and information in an organization. Successfully, we need a framework to structure the information so that the data and information relevant for decision making can and to technological changes. The scope of business is wide, touching many fronts. A business strategic planning is one of the major activities in business planning and control. The other two are the master controls and operational controls. Strategic planning is the process of deciding objectives of the organization, determining the possible shift in objectives. In this, the process by which the managers ensures that the resources are obtained and used effectively and efficiently to attain the objectives of the organization. The third one is operational control. It is a process of assuming that specific tasks are carried out effectively and efficiently. Planning and control activities in different functional areas. We can see over here the program. And for the operational control, schedule the specific jobs on specific machines in a shift. And if we talk about the finance, the strategic planning is related to raising capital by issuing new shares. If we talk about the management control, it is determining the maximum level of credits for customers. And if we talk about the operational control, it is determining what action has to take against non-payment by a specific customer. So this is how activities are planned. Anthony framework enables us to understand the characteristics of information needed to support the three types of planning and control processes. Now see what are the differences between the information required by the three planning of the three types of planning and process control. We can see according to the use, according to the type of control, information characteristics are change and they have different impact on the outcome. Framework that has broken down the process of decision making into three stages. Intelligence. This is the stage in which the decision maker recognizes that